Hello, good people. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Make America Think Again with Vaughn. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining us or joining me over here on the YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and feel free to comment on any of the videos or anything that is said. We are all here, gathered here to learn from one another. So please like, subscribe, and share the channel, please. And thank you for everybody who is a return visitor. Thank you for being here. So today I want to talk about a couple of updates. But the main update to the Epstein case is something that I'm seeing floating around social media. Is not getting an overwhelming amount of attention. It definitely hasn't reached mainstream media, but a lot of independent journalists or influencers, if you will, they are talking about it. So I wanted to talk about it because I know if I'm seeing it repeatedly, you have to be seeing it as well. And that is Sascha Riley. Who is Sascha Riley? Now, if you don't know anything about this, let me try to catch you up to speed. So Sascha Riley is a decorated Army veteran. He he did an interview with an individual. You can find it on Substack, and he did an interview talking about his time when he was being trafficked as a child. Okay. And his connection to the Epstein case, Jeffrey Epstein, the felon, his connection or another person that he saw that was involved was Jim Pedo Protector Jordan. He mentions having seen Lindsey Graham, Clarence Thomas, Andy Biggs. Yeah, he's named all these men. Lex Wexner, I think, was already in the mix, but I'm gonna help you connect the dots there. Okay, so basically what he's done is given an interview. He's told several of the different stories and scenarios of how these wealthy, influential men were a part of this child sex ring and their involvement in it. So Sascha Riley also talked about being involved in or being forced to participate in snuff films as a child. He talks about children being unalived and being buried on farms and ranches. It talks about how he's adopted. His adopted father trafficked him. He talks about actually an incident with the felon. And I just listened to this before recording. I'm looking at my notes to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so he talked about being filmed in and he was quite sure that these films were being sold as, child, you know, child. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. So, sexual child movies. He talked about being filmed, being tortured, being children being unalived, and being forced to have sex with one another, and then also being forced to have sex with these men. So forcing the children to have sex with one another and being filmed and watched and filmed, and then being forced to have sex with these grown ass, nasty ass, trifling ass men. So he talks about this one incident. I just listened to this or part of this video. I haven't listened to all the videos. Full disclosure, I have not listened to all the videos. I'm still reeling from some of the stuff that I've heard and seen with Epstein, and I'm also still finishing up Virginia Giuffre's book. So I'm trying not to do a whole lot of that all at the same time. But I did listen to this one video clip where he talks about Sascha Riley, that he, I believe he was a bit older. Now, when this began, he was younger than 13, like a child. Um, he was a bit older, and then he was told in this instance that he was a man now and he can go and do whatever he wanted to do with this young girl. And so he said they went into another room or space and started having sex because that's what they've been forced to do and that's what they've been conditioned to do. And then he said someone came in the room, or some people came in the room with guns and started beating her up, took her out of the room. I cannot remember if he said they unalived her, but I know he did say beating. And then he said that they had a full conversation back and forth about having to change the mattress because I'm assuming the mattress got bloody because they beat the girl up or unalived her. And then after that happened, that transpired, then in walks the felon. And he says that he distinctly remembers him because the felon wanted to engage in sexual activities with him. That happened. And then the felon wanted him, Sascha, to do him. He wanted to be the bottom. And Sascha said the entire time while these other men were in there with the guns and beating the girl, etc., he had been eyeing this some sort of stick or prod or something like that, and to use as a weapon. And once the felon laid on his stomach, he took that instrument, that thing, that item, and rammed it up the felon's anus. So Sascha said he's quite sure that the felon's incontinence and the fact that he shits himself often is connected to that incident because he said he rammed it up there really far. So he is quite sure he did some damage. Now you're like, Shauna, why are you telling me all this gross shit? And here's why I'm telling you this. Because this has gone further than I and probably you could have ever imagined. And remember that video that I made, and you can find it, it's here on my page, it's here on the channel, where I said to you, if Lex Wexner and Peter Thiel were involved, where are the male survivors? Because I knew there had to be some. Because Peter Thiel is an outwardly, openly gay man. Les Wexner was funding and financing and turned over all his money to Jeffrey Epstein. And what grown ass heterosexual male would ever do that with another male? None. None would do it unless there was some other type of relationship going on. That's how I knew there had to be some boys. So, like I said, I haven't listened to the entire thing, The entire, there's like, I think about six different interviews that this person conducted with Sasha Riley, and I need to listen to them all. But also in connecting the dots, remember Bubba? Remember Bubba? Okay. So this is somebody else I was watching, and they were connecting the dots on this whole Sasha situation. So how Sasha was talking about these things often happened on farms or ranches. Now, keep in mind, Epstein had that New Mexico ranch. Okay. And Sasha said these things often happened on, out in wilderness places, ranches and farms. Well, there is a Bubba, CR, Bubba is his nickname, CR Bubba Salisbury, who his family is in oil, and they were huge donors to the felons campaign, and the family has a ranch. The son's name is CR, Bubba is the nickname, Salisbury, Saulsbury. Connect the dots. Now, whom else has been to this ranch? Cash Money. Cash Money Patel has been to this ranch as well. I'm just saying, I'm just delivering the information that I gained. Cash Money Patel has been to this ranch as well. They didn't say since he's been the FBI director or before that. They just said Cash Money has been to this ranch as well. So we have a potential Bubba. Other than Clinton, we have another potential Bubba. So there was another connection. Oh, what was the other connection? So Jim Jordan, Jim Pedo Protector Jordan. So when he was at Ohio State, you remember the doctor who was molesting and sexually assaulting all of those male gymnasts, right? And pedo protector Jim Jordan didn't say shit, didn't report it. And all these gymnasts knew that he knew, like they went directly and told him, and he still did nothing about it. Here's the other thing. Here's the other piece of the puzzle that we did not know that I just learned. So while that was going on, and Jim Pedo Protector Jordan was the wrestling coach, who sat on the board of trustees for Ohio State? None other than Les Wexner. Oh, what tangled webs we weave. And another thing, so Andy Biggs is another one of the people that Sasha Riley has identified, okay? Who did Erica Kirk just a couple of weeks ago when they had that whatever kind of convention that they had? Who did she, or I think it was only a week ago, who did she endorse for governor of Arizona, I believe? Andy Biggs. Andy Biggs. Oh, what tangled webs we weave. I've also seen a CIA video featuring Erica Kirk, much younger Erica Kirk. Now we know that her mother does something for the military. Nobody can explain it. Nobody knows exactly what. But yeah. So last week, Erica Kirk endorsed Andy Biggs for governor. And Andy Biggs is also one of the males that has been identified by Sasha Riley. Jim Pedo Protector Jordan was at Ohio State when all the sexual abuse, sexual assault, sexual allegations were happening with all of those male gymnasts. It was into the hundreds, folks. All those male gymnasts, he covered for the doctor, but also at the same time on the board of trustees was Les Wexner. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. So there's also a connection or a link to these adopted children. According to Sascha Riley, most of these kids were adopted. Ethnicity varies. He talks about different girls, black, white, etc. But a lot of these children were adopted. A lot of them were adopted, which makes me remember when I told y'all MAGA Mike Johnson has a black son somewhere. When he was very young, he and his wife married and they adopted a black teenage son, and nobody has seen, where's the teenage son? Where's the black teenage son? Whenever he talks about his kids, he talks about his two biological children with his wife. Where's this son? Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas was named by Sascha Riley. Clarence Thomas was also raising his nephew at a certain period of time. He was raising his nephew, put his nephew through college, etc. And there's another one who has the adopted child. I can't remember if it was Andy Biggs or not. No. It's Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz in Florida. Adopted. You know what? Can't remember if his son is Latino or Black, but let me look this up real quick. He has an adopted son, Nestor. He's Latino. Now, Clarence is Black on the outside, so I'm not going to sit here and say, what's up with all these white men adopting all these ethnic children? I'm not going to say that. And like I said, Sascha said it's a variety. Like there was a mixture of ethnicities of the children, but the majority of them were adopted. Adopted children was the common denominator. But yeah, filming, torturing, raping, graping, unaliving, forcing them to have sexual interactions with each other. None of this has been confirmed yet, but we need to start asking. Everybody needs to start asking, who is Sascha Riley? Why are they not talking about Sascha Riley? And this is the last thing I'm going to say to put a button on this conversation. We have only received about 1% of the Epstein files. Only 1%. There are millions and millions of other documents, videos, pictures, case files, FBI documentation. We only have thus far 1%. That due date of December 19th came and went, and we haven't gotten anything in weeks. So start asking, who is Sascha Riley? Keep the Epstein questions going and Sascha Riley.